Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is Charlotte here. Welcome to my home. Are you ready? Let's finish this journal. Let's get her done. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is go through and start putting goodies in her and looking at what I've got, and we do need to make some of these tags. I want to show you how we're going to do those, but we have quite a bit of ephemera. We have this beautiful page here, which truly is lovely, and it matches this pocket, so I think I will put that in there and also put a really pretty tag to go with it. Yeah, no, let's put this in there. So we have that, and we have this tuck here, and I have got some really pretty tags for the tucks. Do I want blue? It adds a nice pop of color there. And we can put another, because if I do that, I lose my pop of color. So I don't need the pop of color. So let's put, how about this? Because you can see that from the top. That's pretty. So 2 tags in there, and then we've got this. That looks really nice there, so I think I will leave that like that. And then we have this little one. Let's see if we can get this really pretty one in here. And then I also know that we have some little tiny gems, which, because of my mess that I said I would clean up, and I didn't. Okay, we can come back to this because here's one. I'll put that. Nope, that's not, well, it'll fit like that, but no, I know I've got smaller. Okay, here's one. Okay, I'll put this in there. And what, we've got another one of these, and I think I am going to put, we could have, like I had mentioned before, we could go ahead and put acetate on each and every one of these. I don't think that I will. I don't think each one needs acetate, but folded, it makes a really cute pocket. So that's really pretty. And then we have a pocket here, and I do have one with acetate, and I do have this pretty tag here. Let's see if this will show up. Yes, really, really pretty. So let's do that. And you know what? Let's put a ribbon on here. So we need our crocodile, because we're going to need an eyelet. Let's put a light pink eyelet on this. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Maggie. Want to say hi? Crimp this, and then I've got some pink ribbon here. Maggie, want to say hi? Maggie, I think everybody'd like to see you. Want to come in front of the camera just for a second? Let me pull this through here. I'll see if I can get her, but usually she runs away. Yeah, I think that makes a difference. That looks really pretty like that. Let me see if I can entice her to come over here. Come here. Come here. Got you. All right, let's see how much of Maggie you can see. Here's Maggie. There she is in all her glory. Okay, you don't have to stay. You can go. There she goes. So funny. Okay, so we have that. Now you know there really is a Maggie. We've got this one here. This is one of my favorite images. We've got this. This is so pretty. Maybe, I don't think so. Let's put her in here because it's just really, really pretty. And that like that. Now you could go through here and just add snippets and all sorts of stuff to this to just really make this incredibly romantic. I am not going to be doing that because the file folder holds so much that it's almost overwhelming. So how about that in there? And then if I come across another little goodie, I can put it in there as well. Then I've got paper clips because I really should put more in here. Wonder. She's really pretty. She's, I think, this one. And then we could slip that right in there like that so that you can see it's kind of a pocket and a tuck. I mean, she's perfect for that. And I could, no, we'll just let her be. And then I think I've got, this kit is so full that you have so much. That I have so many tags, but we do want some for our file folder. So let me see what else I've got in here. Maybe this postcard like that. And I didn't cut that out because I thought it makes a really cute place to do some journaling on. But I think I want to put some pink. I do want that letter in there. That envelope looking tag. That's what I'm thinking, not the letter, but the envelope looking tag. Let me put a piece of ribbon around this paper clip. And then we need to do the strings in the center, put our ties on, and then decorate the cover. So I want a place for this. So let's see, I think back here there were a couple empty places. Maybe right here we can put this. And let's put it up here towards the front like that. So we've got that, and then let's go ahead and I want to make sure I'm on camera. Let's go ahead and do this part here. And I brought over, I remembered my floss threader, and this is what that is. You can get it in the dental aisle. It's called a floss threader, and it is fantastic for stringing beads. And I will show you in a second how that works. So let's see what we can get. This is a really, really pretty pink bead right here. Pretty sure that's a glass bead. And maybe one like that on the other side. And then we'll get the seed beads. But this just gives us a tiny bit of variety. And I like those. So the way that this is going to work is you're going to take your floss threader and you're going to put your beads on it. So there's 1, 2, 3, this big one here, and then we'll put 1 at the bottom. Like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your string, your thread, whatever, and you're going to put it through the threader like that, and then you're just going to pull your beads down and they just go, they slip right on there. But I want 1 at the bottom here to tie. So here is 1. This is what it looks like. Looks like that, so it's really pretty. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put our beads on this threader. I've tried to use this as a needle threader, but it's too thick. And I was thinking about the story I told about the needles. Speaking of needles, yesterday, somebody had left in the comments that their husband always comes in and picks up their pins and needles off the floor for them. My grandmother, it reminded me, my grandmother was a huge sewer. She wasn't a seamstress, she just really liked to sew. Okay, and then once again, where you have the loop, you put your thread through that loop and you just pull your beads off and they go right onto the thread. So it was a hobby of hers, and she made a lot of her clothes. And she had, my grandfather worked for the Pacific Railroad in Sacramento. So I don't know, I'm thinking that this is where he got the magnet, because I don't know where you would purchase such a huge magnet. But my grandmother had this magnet that probably was a good 6 inches tall by, I think the thing was like that tall, that wide, you know, from arch to arch, or from side to side, and then about that thick. It was huge, and she attached it to a string, and when she would get up from sewing, she just would stand up and take that magnet and drag it all along the floor, and it would pick up all her pins. I mean, it was perfect. It was just beautiful. So this is, thank you for that memory, because I really hadn't thought about that in a long time. So this is our signature threads, which I think are lovely. And now we want the closure so that we can work on the cover here. So let's get that together. I need 2 nice long pieces of ribbon. I think that probably works. And I just remembered I did not get the fringe before I came over here, so I'm gonna have to get up and go get the pink fringe. I don't know how I forgot that. So we have this, so let's get this on so we can close this up and get our knitting on the front, get our knitting on the spine. So we want our ribbon in the center. Such a beautiful journal. Okay. Keep this straight if we can. So there's the front. I can feel it's already thick, full, just a fun journal. Romantic and beautiful. Nope. There we go. We'll see after we do the other, but you can see how nice and thick that is and just how pretty. After we do the file folder, if I've got tags left over, we will just fill this up. There's no reason not to. But for now, let's not stitch this, but let's get this bow on here. And let's think about the front. This is what we are going to be putting on the bottom of our journal. And so I'm thinking that probably should go before the spine. Isn't that pretty? Let's see. Let me cut a piece of this off so I can get the other out of the way. Get this out of the way. And then we'll see how this is going to go. So we know we want that. And we know we want this beautiful, beautiful stuff to wrap around. And I know that some of this also goes in the file folder. I do not remember seeing any of that. It may have gone. That's really pretty. So let's get this fringe on. This is going to be first. This has got to go. So let's get our fringe on, and I'm just going to use some Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac, Fabri-Fix, whatever you have in your stash. Something that is good for fabric. So I think I'm going to make this low enough where we don't really see the cardstock or the file folder. Just like that. And of course, we're going to wrap her around just like that. Isn't that so pretty? I'm telling you, this journal is just gorgeous. These papers are amazing. Okay. And we're going to have to trim. I'm going to try to trim where I can keep that one tassel on. I don't want to lose that tassel. So with that, let me just put a little bit more glue here to make sure that that is going to stay and be okay. Now the back does not get much netting. It gets some because it is going to wrap over the spine. So there we go. So let's see now what we're going to do, how we're going to do this. And I think that looks good. like that. A little bit less. We are going to cut it right up here in the center. I am gonna have to go on a hunt. It doesn't have to be even. You don't need it to be even, your cut. I'm gonna have to go on a hunt. Isn't that just so beautiful? Look at that. It's just, I couldn't even tell you where I got this because I've kind of been hoarding it. So I think what I'm gonna do is start here. Think about like that. And if I get this down, that kind of shows me then where we're going. Now we still have to do our lace, our window tag. Maybe just move it over. We are losing those roses at the bottom by doing this, but the netting is so pretty that I just think it's worth it. You kind of have to be the color of that, what you want. The roses. I mean, you could now come back at this and add rose embellishments down here if you wanted to. You could do that, and it would be really, really pretty. So let's go ahead and get the back on. I think I'm going to use my finger just to kind of spread this out a little bit. Just like this. Oh, it's so pretty. A little bit of glue on me. Isn't that just so pretty? It's just so delicate and nice and beautiful. And I will not throw this piece away. You might think, what will you ever do with that? Well, I don't know, but it's just too beautiful to throw away. And I think what I'm going to do with this is just come in a little bit because it's too straight, and I don't like that. And I think I'm going to do the same right here. I'm going to come in just a tiny bit. And then we need some glue here and some glue down here. And I'm wondering if I want a pearl on the front of her, or I do have another option I was thinking about last night. Let's see, where is my, put the cap on that glue. I've got these really pretty kind of pearlized rhinestones right here, and I thought one of these might be really, really pretty. And then if I went ahead, I didn't have these when I created the other one, but then if I went ahead and used a few of these in the file folder, then it would kind of carry over. That's got a lot of blue in it, and I don't want that. I was hoping I might have one that had pink in it. They're sticking to me. I do have little pink rhinestones, but I don't think they'd show up. So I think I'm going to use one of these instead of the pearl. What do you think? Right there. think so. I mean, you could get really fancy. If you had little minis, you could put them all around her bonnet. I mean, there is a lot that you can do with this to really bling her up. But I think I am just going to put a little touch of glue right there. Move her over here. It's a good thing that glue dries clear. There, I like that. So now, as I promised, I'm going to show you how to do some of those, what I'm calling skeleton tags. I guess you could call them window tags. But our journal is done. This is it. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. Just beautiful, beautiful. And depending upon how many tags I have left over when I do the file folder, we will come in here and maybe add some more, and then add some more of our little paper clip ribbons. But let's go ahead. I'm going to grab a little bit of paper towel for glue. But see, I've got all of these tags still and bookmarks. I'm just waiting to sew these, stitch them. And then I have a whole pile of, I still have all of this. I have this that needs a tag. I should put a tag in here. So this needs to be used. This is way too pretty not to be used. And then I've got this one here. So let's put this in here like that. And then I have all of these tags here. And of course this beautiful tag. So we've got, I mean, you can just see this kit. I mean, look at all this. We have to create a belly band. I know not all of this is going to fit in, I mean, I don't even think half of this is going into the look at this little, I don't even think half of this is going into, and it doesn't, I don't have to use it all, but we've got plenty to play with. But let's go ahead. What I did to create these is just punched a hole, and I did it together. The last time I did this, I did one, then I put it on cardstock and I traced it, because obviously you have to sandwich the lace, so you need a backing. So if you do this on cardstock to begin with, you're still going to need a back for it. So it is much easier if you can do them together so that they will go together. And then what I did is I took this piece here and decided what lace I wanted. And the last time, there is one where I actually cut out, I mean, look at, oh, isn't that just, yeah, we're going to do that. We are going to cut this out. I don't think I'm on camera, so let's get on camera. Cut this out. Make sure that it is the right side. Make sure that it's going to fit. And it is. And then we're going to take a little bit of glue. And we are going to go around. Like a. Then we're going to fit this on there, making sure that we've got our pattern where we want it. just like that. Making sure that you're good with that. And I don't think we need this extra here, so let's cut that off. And then you're going to take and you're going to glue this piece onto that piece, making sure that you match around your circles. And then what I like to do, and I know that not everybody has a sewing machine, but I really like to sew around the circle. And if you don't have a sewing machine, just make sure that you've got enough glue that it is going to stay down. And you might want, because there is a little bit of bulk with your fabric, you might want to lay something heavy on top of this just until it dries. So you're going to get this down like this. And I have found if you do sew, it's much easier to sew on this side. You can see better than if you try to sew on this side. So we've got this down, and now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. And you're going to do the exact same thing. There was one tag that I had done where I cut 2 holes, and you're going to do the exact same thing. Get the holes. I don't even know if I'm on camera. Then I'm going to go around this. When the glue is dried, I will go around this and I will stitch it. And there you've got your tag. Isn't that just, I mean, it's just beautiful. So let's do another. And I'm going to be using, not the same, I'm going to use some white lace. But I mean, it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that needs to be sewn. So let's do this one here. You can see I did it so that that's at the bottom. And I thought, I have this lace here, and it's got a flower. Don't know if you can see that flower, but I really thought it barely fits. But I thought that flower would be so pretty. Barely, just barely wants to fit on there. So I think for this one, because of that, I might just put a little Fabrifix and spread it around with my finger, because this is tackier and I think might work better. If my lace fit real well, I wouldn't even think about it. And if I wasn't going to sew, I for sure would make sure that there was plenty of glue to adhere this down. And so I think on this one as well, I am going to use the Fabrifix, just to make sure. And like I said, I'm going to be stitching this, so I'm not really concerned with the middle of the tag and having glue on it, because it is going to be stitched. I mean, why waste the glue? It's not going to go anywhere. You just want to make sure that there's glue around your circle so it doesn't pop up. And then you're going to get this down there like that. Then you're just going to make sure that you get that down around that circle. And look at that. Isn't that just soft and beautiful and goes so, so well with these papers. So let's cut this out and then I'll show them to you again. But now you know it's easy to create these. And I'm cutting close to me, so I apologize. Hopefully I'm on camera. So we have this. Let me put the pin in this glue. See if I pull this, you can see it, but I don't know if you can see that better, but look at that. Isn't that tag just beautiful? Now, because I didn't get really close to this, I might have to do a little trimming, but I will wait until I stitch it just to make sure. But you can see, I mean, that's just so, so pretty. So guys, we did it. We did it. We've got our journal done. This is the cover. And it's really, really pretty. This is just a gorgeous paper, just gorgeous paper. And we will be putting a lot more tags in here at the very end because I want to use them up. So I guess I'll just go ahead and get maybe, I'm going to guess 5 more of these. So we'll be having a little pink coming off the edges at the top, some pink coming off the sides, and then we will be putting some more ribbons on. And they'll be either the pink or the cream or a combination of both. But there's our seed beads. Don't they look so nice? And I'll put just a little touch of glue on those so that I might as well do that right now. So that sometimes these knots, when you've got the waxed thread, sometimes they want to loosen, but you just put a little dot of glue on there and that takes care of that. Now, I worked yesterday on the file folder. I got the design down, the measurements down, the scoring spots down, and there's a lot to it. So that is going to be the next video. I hope you really enjoyed this. Please subscribe. I don't want you to miss out on anything. Have a great Thursday, and thanks so much, guys, for watching. Bye.